and 9 women now hold in their hands the future of former Cincinnati City Councilman P.G. Sittenfeld.
Yeah, the federal corruption case went to the jury just this afternoon. Our David Winter has been in the courtroom since day one, and he joins us now outside the federal courthouse.
If convicted on all counts, P.G. Sittenfeld could be facing dozens of years in federal prison, but this jury has a long way to go before it reaches a verdict. Both sides have rested their cases. There will be no more evidence presented. The judge gave jury instructions telling the jury it is not necessary for the government to prove a bribe was expressed, simply explicit. So Sittenfeld saying there cannot be a quid pro quo is not an absolute defense as long as the jury believes he acted because he received something of value. The judge added there's nothing wrong with a politician receiving donations from people who hope that politician will act in their best interests as long as the donation is not explicitly in exchange for him or her acting in their interests. The prosecution began its closing arguments with, a public official may not receive a bribe. The bribe offers were clear money for official action on 435 Elm. The U.S. attorney said Sittenfeld had an obligation to act in the public's best interest. He was working for Rob, Brian, and Vinny, the undercover agents acting as investors, not for the taxpayers. The U.S. attorney wrapped by saying, in the end, this is a simple case. Did the defendant agree to receive contributions for official actions on 435 Elm? There is only one obvious conclusion. The defendant is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt on all 6 counts. In its closing, the defense reminded the jury it can only convict if Sittenfeld intended to be corrupt. The defense attorney reminded the jury PG turned down cash from the undercover agents. If you're a corrupt person and you don't think you are being recorded, you take the cash. The defense questioned the reliability of the government witnesses, reminding the jury one of the undercovers had a sexual relationship in the penthouse suite the FBI had rented, and he was censured. Plus, Ndukwe and Jared Camras had a deal with the FBI and might be facing federal prison time. The defense said, out of the 1,800 donations PG had accepted, the only donations in dispute are the ones with the FBI agents. If any of the other donations were illegal, you would have heard of them. The defense finished its closing arguments with P.G. Sittenfeld's good friend and his defense attorney, Charlie Rickers Jr., actually getting choked up. He told the jury, this is it. You have a very important job to do. The jury broke at 5. They'll be back at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. At the federal courthouse downtown, David Winter, back to you.
All right, David, thank you so much. I want to reiterate once again that jury took that case about 4 p.m. today, and with so much evidence, we do not expect a verdict to be delivered before the end of day tomorrow, perhaps well into Friday even.